Hello et bienvenue à tous dans ce 86e numéro du Rétro. Merci à tous ceux qui soutiennent la chaîne et qui permettent de continuer la grande aventure des NBA Stories. Si vous souhaitez supporter ce projet, sachez qu'il est possible d'offrir un tip directement depuis YouTube en cliquant sur le cœur sous cette vidéo. Merci à tous. La réalisation de cet épisode a été rendue possible grâce au nouveau partenaire des NBA Stories, Cambly. Si vous aimez notre contenu, il y a de grandes chances que la culture américaine vous passionne. Ça tombe bien, car Cambly est une plateforme d'apprentissage de l'anglais grâce à une méthode basée sur la pratique régulière et l'immersion. Laissez-moi vous confier un petit secret. Bien qu'ayant grandi à Paris, j'ai toujours été passionné par la culture américaine, du cinéma au sport, en passant par la musique. Mon rêve était d'apprendre l'anglais, mais avec les livres et les exercices, les résultats n'étaient pas au rendez-vous. Lorsque j'ai eu la chance de déménager aux États-Unis, le fait de pouvoir entendre et pratiquer naturellement tous les jours m'a permis de devenir bilingue en moins d'1 an. Mais je sais, tout le monde n'a pas la chance de pouvoir vivre en immersion dans un pays anglophone. Cambly, une plateforme que j'ai testée, vous permettra de vous connecter en quelques secondes avec des tuteurs natifs et de pouvoir améliorer votre anglais de façon naturelle, en cours particulier ou en groupe. L'équipe française de Cambly a spécialement contacté les NBA Stories pour soutenir notre travail. Avec le lien en description, vous pourrez profiter d'un cours d'essai et de 50% de réduction sur l'abonnement de 12 mois, valable sur les cours particuliers et les cours en groupe. Qui sait, d'ici peu, les sous-titres de nos vidéos ne vous seront peut-être plus d'aucune utilité. Nous avons aujourd'hui la chance de compter sur la participation de John Telich. Telich, c'est le monsieur sport de l'Ohio, en étant le présentateur phare de la Fox pendant plus de 40 ans avec 11 Emmy Awards dans la besace. Merci à lui d'avoir accepté de se confier à nous.
With the first pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
Define success for yourself as a rookie and in the long run in the NBA?
Well, you know, I never say myself. I always say my team. It's not about myself. It's just about how well, as a team, we can grow as a family and just get better every single day.
That was like Christmas for a lot of Cavalier fans because they knew the best talent coming out. They saw LeBron play high school basketball the previous 4 years. The legend was already established. A great sign of exhilaration for Cavalier fans.
Nous sommes en 2003 et comme rarement, l'Ohio avait le cœur à la fête. Qui aurait pu rêver d'un meilleur scénario? Lui, LeBron James, la vedette la plus précoce de l'histoire du basketball. Cet enfant prodige rejoignit les Cavaliers de sa région natale, dans un engouement jamais égalé.
Do you like playing professional ball in your hometown? Is that a good thing for a kid?
It's a blessing for me. You know, you get an opportunity to have your friends and family there at every home game. And then you get an opportunity to help a franchise out that hasn't been so good, you know, in the past years.
Pour comprendre la folie autour de LeBron James, il faut d'abord se replonger dans ce triste Ohio du nouveau millénaire. Économiquement, cet état industriel du Midwest américain était à la dérive. Sportivement, toutes les équipes de Cleveland rayonnaient de par leur médiocrité. Depuis leur fondation en 1970, les Cleveland Cavaliers avaient particulièrement donné du fil à retordre aux Ohiens. Si ce calvaire devait porter un nom en particulier, ce serait celui de Ted Stepien.
Don't worry about the media, don't worry about the fans, just play it low and lose as much as possible. Wait for your Samson or Worthy or you know, Elijah One.
Aux côtés de Donald Sterling, Ted Stepien est certainement considéré comme le pire propriétaire de l'histoire du sport américain. Malgré des accusations de racisme, l'homme d'affaires égomaniaque mit la main sur une équipe de Cleveland au bord du gouffre en 1980. Son mandat fut si calamiteux que les Cavaliers furent rapidement renommés par les fans Cadavers, cadavres en français. De 1982 à 1985, Stepien transféra 5 choix de draft consécutifs. Pour stopper cette folie, la NBA instaura la Ted Stepien Rule, qui interdit à une équipe de se séparer de plus de 3 picks de draft. En lutte ouverte avec les fans, l'homme d'affaires annonça même déménager les Cavaliers à Toronto, sous le nom de Towers. Finalement, Stepien perdit sa réputation et sa fortune en NBA. En 1990, 20 ans après la création des Cavaliers, l'équipe n'avait dépassé qu'une petite fois les playoffs. Arriva alors une période enfin plus brillante, si seulement il n'avait pas eu à affronter Michael Jordan.
I'll be around for, hopefully the average 10 to 15 years, but I'm just trying to make Cleveland the way it was when, I don't want to say this, but when Michael Jordan used to kill us all the time.
I think we all knew he was going to be a good NBA basketball player, but we still had some reservations because very few had gone right from high school to the pros, so there was some trepidation in your minds. Were we seeing the real thing? What he had done so much head and shoulders above the rest of the talent that he took on in the high school ranks, would that translate to the next level, to the NBA, skipping college entirely?
Lorsque LeBron James rejoignit Cleveland, toutes les équipes de la ville étaient cataclysmiques. Les Cavaliers, qui avaient fini bon dernier, comptaient alors sur un effectif affolant de médiocrité.
It was a horrible basketball team. They had losing streaks left and right, and they had proven themselves to be the worst team in the league in order to, get that #1 pick. And so it was a kind of a basketball roster that wasn't very much to write home about, and yet you saw initially, amongst the players like the Ricky Davises of the world or whomever, that he was going to be, the best player on the team almost immediately.
And don't forget, there is one good thing about being at the bottom. You only got one place to go, and that's up.
In probably the most anticipated debut of any first-year athlete in any sport, LeBron James will put it on the floor for the first time in a regular season game tonight.
That's the guy, come up onto him so he can use his strength and drive by him.
And LeBron on the baseline, 2 for 2 on the run. This is his best part of his game. Here he comes the other way. There's your first James Jam of his career.
His first contest as an NBA player was phenomenal, and so you just saw right from the jump that LeBron was going to become one of the best players to ever play the game. You just saw that.
De façon presque mystique, LeBron James rejoignit la NBA juste après la retraite définitive de Michael Jordan. Celui qui était attendu comme le Messi ne déçut en aucun point. Élu rookie de l'année, Cleveland passa à une petite place de se qualifier pour les playoffs.
LeBron was always impressed upon me as a we-first basketball player, where he thought about the team, he thought about the correct play.
Did you ever feel like you didn't want that responsibility?
No.
Why? Why not? Why did you?
I've always been the leader of the pack. I've always been the commander. I've always been, the person in front. I've always wanted to be the leader. I've always wanted what everybody else didn't want. So, when things is placed upon me, it's another challenge. If that's the label they're gonna give me, and they want me to, to carry the torch to the league, I have no problem doing that.
Well, I think his talent was so immense that he covered up a lot of the ills of some of the other players. And I remember asking head coach Mike Brown that question, that whether or not the team and the people that go out and scout for players to bring into the team were mesmerized to the point where it was hard to value what other types of talent was needed to be on this team. And in many ways, he covered up a lot of the ills of the rest of the players on the roster.
I just don't like getting all this for myself. It's all about the team. And I can't win by myself, 5-on-1, no matter how good I am.
Contrairement à Michael Jordan, James était depuis sa genèse un joueur avant tout basé sur le collectif. Année après année, Cleveland proposa un effectif très limité autour de sa star. Mais année après année, un très jeune LeBron James réussit à porter toute une équipe sur ses épaules. Durant toutes les premières saisons de LeBron en NBA, son meilleur coéquipier était Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Le Lituanien était un pivot au grand cœur et loin d'être dénué de tout talent. Mais était-ce vraiment assez pour viser le titre? LeBron de se remémorer son ancien complice. Il représentait tout pour moi. Quand tu arrives en tant que rookie, tu essayes de trouver un leader, ce vétéran, ce gars qui est là pour t'apprendre les ficelles du métier. Dès le premier jour, j'ai su qu'il allait être toujours là pour moi.
Obviously, you had Zydrunas, you had Drew Gooden, you had Anderson Varejao, you had Eric Snow. These were just average players by NBA standards, but yet, in 07, he made it seem like they had much more talent than was on the roster. Another factor I would say is LeBron always held the Cavaliers' feet to the fire in the manner by which he would sign contracts. He signed shorter-term deals and didn't go for that max situation. And so that was his way of telling the Cavaliers, build something special around me and we can make something special happen on the court.
Nous sommes en 2007, LeBron James a 22 ans et est déjà l'un des tout meilleurs joueurs de la ligue. Battant les records de précocité 1 à 1, le natif de l'Ohio porta une équipe pourtant faible en talent jusqu'à la 2e place de sa conférence. Qui pouvait croire que le seul LeBron James pouvait mener les siens en finale NBA? Magic Johnson en 1980, le shot de Michael Jordan face à Cleveland. Il manquait encore à LeBron sa soirée mythique pour entrer dans la légende. Cela arriva en 2007, soir du match 5 des finales de conférence.
There's no reason for us to be here if we weren't confident. May 31st, 2007 was the Eastern Conference Finals. The series was tied 2-2. Being in the Palace of Auburn Hills in the playoffs, that's one of the most hostile environments to be in. You just feel like it's just you 12 against the whole city of Detroit. I wanted to put the responsibility on myself and have me answer the call.
Hamilton coming over to help. Here's the fade. LeBron James. Here's James. Pistons wanted a charge. James has to fire. And the second overtime. Down. 5 seconds. 4, 3. James scored 29 of the last 30. One of the great performances of all time.
May 31st, 2007 was a night that I hope everyone remembers. As a franchise, we had arrived, and as an individual, I had arrived.
The legend of LeBron really flourished, and that was Game 5 in Detroit against the Pistons, where he scored 48 points. He was absolutely spectacular. I think he scored the last 25 that the Cavaliers scored in that game. Never saw a young talent take a team on his shoulders in the manner that LeBron did on that night.
Listen, I hate that we lost that game, but that was a good game to be a part of. It really was. It was an awesome game. It's going to go down into history. That dude he climbed that mountain that night.
Game 6 was monumental in terms of the city finally getting to the NBA Finals and what he was able to do.
I always told my team I'm gonna try to do my best to try to bring it home, and man, if it weren't for these fans here, man, this is special. This is big. This is the biggest thing I've ever done.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are here for the first time in the 36-year history of the franchise.
Well, I mean, for me being a historian of the game, they had already been to multiple finals appearances. They played the Knicks in '99. You know, I remember watching them play the Pistons. I knew I was already, behind the 8 ball.
In the 06/07 year, they didn't really have that great of a roster. It wasn't a bit of a mystery to predict that once they got to the finals, that they would have an incredibly difficult time against the San Antonio Spurs.
There's the buzzer. The San Antonio Spurs are NBA champions once again. Their 4th title in 9 years.
Stay that way, man. Stay that way. You're going to drive these guys. This is going to be your league in a little while.
You could just tell what he was going to be and who he was going to be, and that he was going to be such a dominant player for such a long time.
I thought it was a scenario where the Cavaliers were happy that they got to the finals. I think they, in their heart of hearts, had to know going up against San Antonio, with the pedigree that San Antonio basketball had already established, that it would be real difficult for them to do any kind of damage in the series.
Spurs are NBA champions once again, their 4th title.
And yeah, you'd like to have seen them win a game, but they were swept, and San Antonio 100% earned their NBA championship that year. And the Cavaliers came away thinking, okay, now they need more pieces, parts around LeBron. The real unfortunate thing is they never could develop a team much further beyond that point to where they could get back to the finals with LeBron James on their team.
De 2005 à 2010, le seul LeBron James permit aux faibles Cavaliers de truster le haut du tableau. À chaque fois, l'équipe de Cleveland finit par s'incliner face à des effectifs bien plus comblés. Les finales 2007 devaient être pierre fondatrice. Elles ne firent que confirmer le plafond de verre de Cleveland. La question se posait et se pose encore. Pourquoi diable les Cavaliers n'ont jamais réussi à offrir un lieutenant d'envergure à LeBron James?
Very difficult. I think one of the biggest reasons was the fact that he didn't commit himself to signing long-term deals. So if you're an NBA superstar or someone of that ilk, why would you invest in a team that you're not certain that LeBron's going to be there long-term for you as well? So I think that was a big factor that kept some of the top players away from thinking that they would entertain the opportunity to go to the Cavaliers.
Depuis sa draft en 2003, LeBron James avait toujours juré fidélité à sa région natale. Contrat-court après contrat-court, l'ailier offrit de nombreuses chances à sa franchise de cœur de lui offrir un effectif à la hauteur de ses ambitions. En 2010, pour la toute première fois, un départ de LeBron James n'était plus qu'une illusion.
Wild day today. Heavy hitters from the Nets and the Knicks come to Cleveland to entice our homegrown superstar.
He's got to do what makes him happy. Period.
Tomorrow, the LA Clippers and the Miami Heat come to Cleveland. On Saturday, the Chicago Bulls and the Cavaliers meet with LeBron James.
Clearly, the Chicago Bulls have a great shot at landing LeBron.
Now, the tea leaves are saying that LeBron is strongly leaning towards joining Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh with the Miami Heat, thus adding another sad chapter to the city of Cleveland's devastating sports history.
And I think he wanted to set out and form his own kind of a roster with other stars to see if he could get it done on his own. And he would see year in and year out the talent wasn't that great around him, but he still was able to get them either to the finals or to a conference final, but always be in the conversation, and wanted to see if he could strike out on his own and to show his abilities before the world, his abilities to forge a partnership with other players, to be part of something greater than himself.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
LeBron's decision is not sitting well with all of Northeast Ohio, as some fans burn his Cavs jersey in disgust.
And then when he was on that TV special, the way it was done to drop that news in front of everybody, they felt betrayed.
How arrogant to get on national TV and slap the city and the team that supported you since you've been in high school.
This is terrible. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to Cleveland.
It's just another blow to the Cleveland sports psyche. The hardest part of it is from one of our own.
He had broken a lot of hearts, and our fans are very passionate in Cleveland. And I know our fans really took it. They took it on the chin, and they took it real hard when he made that decision to go to Miami.
Akron, Ohio is where I was made. I tattooed the area code on my arm. Every time you see my name, you know where I'm from.
Nous avons tenté dans cet épisode de vous conter le premier passage méconnu de LeBron James aux Cavaliers. Ce récit est tout d'abord celui d'un jeune prodige qui porta toute une équipe, toute une ville, tout un peuple sur ses épaules. Si 2007 ne fut pas l'année de la consécration pour lui, le King parvint à réaliser sa quête en offrant aux Cavs un titre mythique en 2016. Entre LeBron James et Cleveland, l'histoire fut intense, houleuse, mouillée de larmes de joie comme de tristesse. Mais une chose est certaine, Que cette histoire fut belle.